Are you a first-time bikepacker? Do you want to learn more on how to pack for a short bikepacking trip? Hi, I'm John Bikes, a newbie bikepacker. And here are some lessons I learned from my first ever bikepacking trip. In my last video, I showed our bikepacking trip to Hammock Base Camp in Santa Maria, Laguna, around 80 kilometers from Metro Manila. We rode up the Sierra Madre Mountains and spent the night there, then rode back home. Along the way, I came to some realizations on how I can make the whole experience better. But before I start sharing the lessons I learned, I have to ask, are you subscribed? If you like watching cycling adventures, learning more about bike routes, or other bike tips and tricks, hit the like and subscribe button. It will go a long way to help me give more to you. And if you have any suggestions on how I can make a better bikepacking experience, feel free to comment down below. First, know your route. Knowing your route will help you prepare what bike setup to bring. I used my Enigma Escape Mark II with a 700C wheel set and 40mm wide and knobby tires. Since we were unfamiliar with the segment between the Pelilio Wind Farm and Sampaloc Tanay, I wanted to prepare for any rough or non-existent roads. Luckily, the only rough patches were some short dirt segments of roads still under construction. Also chose to use this bike because of its gearing, 43 to 30 chain rings to an 11 to 34 cog set. These gave me a lot of gearing in the short, punchy segments of our route, making it easier to ride my loaded bike, which was around 7 kilos heavier than usual. This bike also has some fork eyelets for racks for additional bags, but for this trip I wasn't able to get fork racks in time. I'll probably use them for a longer bikepacking trip. Next, choose your essentials. The gear Chaz and I had were initially for credit card bikepacking. We intended to just bring our clothes and some supplies and then sleep in hotels along the way. This trip was sort of like that. We had a cabin with mattresses and pillows, which meant we didn't have to bring along bulky sleeping bags and a tent. But we still had to cook our own meals, so we had to bring our cook set and butane can. For my clothes, I only had one set for staying at the camp, one rain jacket, and one cycling kit that I wore on the first day riding to the camp and the following day on the way back home. I washed this cycling kit when we got to the camp and hoped it would dry in time. I also brought some slippers to walk around the camp. The camp we went to also had a proper bathroom, which meant we only had to bring our toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, and our soap, shampoo, facial wash in this cute little container. We also brought wet wipes, dishwashing liquid, and napkins to clean our equipment and the area after use. First, I packed items we'd only need at the campsite, like my clothes and cook set. I packed into my large Rock Bro saddle bag. I saved some space by inserting the smaller toiletries inside the pot and in the nooks and crannies of the saddle bag. And on the outside, my slippers were tied to the bag while my mug with a carabiner hook hung out. Then I packed other smaller but bulky items like the butane can and bread in my Rock Bros handlebar bag. As for the other food to be cooked for dinner and breakfast, we split them among the group. And lastly, be prepared for anything. This was only an overnight trip, but we made sure to be prepared. We had a general route planned out with some stops to regroup and check in on each other. We had our complete bike tools for mechanical problems, and we even had a doctor in the group to help out in case of medical emergencies. Luckily, everyone was safe during the ride to and from Hammock Base Camp, though we did have some delays from some punctures, but it wasn't anything serious. Studying the route and taking note of restaurants, cafes, convenience stores, groceries, pharmacies, bike shops, and even hospitals will give you a sense of security in case you might need something along the way. For everything in between, it's best to be prepared with knowledge of basic bike maintenance, first aid, and emergency contacts. While it wasn't a full-on bikepacking trip, it was a good experience to get a taste of what it could be like with this short semi-camping trip to Hammock Base Camp. Chaz and I were able to get a feel of our fully loaded bikes, what to bring and how to pack them. We're looking forward to more rides like this and finding out where our bikes can take us. So if you like more cycling content, don't forget to like and subscribe.